Hi Homeworthy, I'm Emma. Welcome to my home in Suffolk. Come in, come and have a look around.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Before today's episode, click the join button below to support all of the storytelling we do on this channel. Our growing community of members help to directly fund more videos so we can capture these extraordinary homes from around the world. So join today to receive early and exclusive access to new Homeworthy videos.
Hi, I'm Emma Paton and I am a full-time content creator and mother as well, and I live here in a village in Suffolk. So we bought the house about 6 months before COVID kicked in, and so yeah, we got out of London. We used to live in Hackney, and we had our 2 kids there, and we decided to get out of London and move somewhere with some more space and less sort of city life, more country life, to bring our kids up. So the kids were 3 and 6 when we moved here, and we basically saw this house and fell in love with it. It was actually the only house we saw. It's a Georgian house at the front, and then it's 14th century at the back. And it needed quite a lot of work, so the windows and the electrics and the plumbing, lots of things that we kind of knew we had to do, but we didn't quite realise how big a scale it was. So yeah, we basically came to see the house and just completely fell in love with it. We got my parents' opinion on it because we have bought something in the past where we were a bit blindsided by the property, and it had loads of issues. But for this house, we were like, we'll get an opinion, and my parents were just like, it's amazing, but it's definitely a money pit. So we were kind of quite aware of like the amount of investment we'd have to put into it to make it the right home for us. But yeah, we're really pleased with the results, and it's been a bit of a labour of love, and definitely an ongoing project as well. When we bought the house, it had quite a lot of work done to it already, and there were a few rooms that definitely they'd kind of spent, you know, quite a bit of money on and working on the interiors, but it was definitely looking quite tired and dated. All the walls were yellow, and there had been fitted carpet everywhere, and that had all been pulled up. There were just wires hanging out the wall. The previous owners had pretty much taken everything from like doorknobs to toilet seats to the letterbox on the front door. So yeah, when we first moved in on that first day, it was quite a shock really, I guess, seeing the house looking quite stark and a little bit unloved really. So yeah, it was a very yellow house when we moved in, put it that way. Welcome to my giant hallway. This is just such an incredible space. It's a massive, massive hallway, and we completely fell in love with all the original features, which are the beams on the ceiling, and of course this sweeping staircase, which yeah, is just kind of sold the house to us really. And more recently we've put in because there's so much space in here, we've got room for a grand piano, which my husband got. He's actually a musician, so he plays this quite a lot, and we play it quite a lot at Christmas, which is fun as well. And then moving over here, this is a piece of artwork by an artist called Philippa Jeffrey, and I just love the colours. I think it really works well with the wall colours. And then this is a chaise longue that I got from a brocante, which is actually held in our village. They do it 4 times a year in their garden, and it's called a boulin. And I found this there, and I thought, again, green, it was perfect for our house because green is one of my favourite colours. as you will see throughout the house. Another colour which you will see a lot is pink. This is a chandelier which kind of like pulls all the room together, and it's by Pure White Lines, and yeah, it's just the most beautiful kind of statement piece of lighting, which more recently we've just put in a round table in the middle as well. And yeah, it's kind of just all finally brought the room together really. I try not to fill the space with too much stuff. Actually, for a long time we didn't have the table or the rug or anything in here, and my daughter quite often was roller skating in this area, and we thought actually as a kind of young family it was quite nice to have all the space in here as a bit of a just, you know, having a bit of fun, and we thought we'd have parties and things in here as well. So yeah, I think kind of more recently when I have thought I'd like to bring some pieces in, I thought still keep it quite simple. This jute rug with the scalloped edge, I liked the kind of the roundness to it and the way it sort of gave a bit of a centre grounding to the room. So this big hallway, basically on that side we've got a dining room, and then on that side we've got a living room, but I kind of wanted to kind of have a connection between all three rooms. So I've kind of done that through a little bit through colour as well. So for example, there's the pink of the light here, and then when you look through into that room, there's a little bit of pink in one of the artworks on the wall. But yeah, so I've kind of tried to stick with a kind of slightly round theme in here, and yeah, not go too crazy with filling it with too much stuff, so we can sort of parties and things in here, and it's fun at Christmas. We actually had our Christmas tree here this Christmas, so yeah, it's a great space for that as well, and having lots of people in it. I actually went out this morning and did some foraging, which I quite often do. So yeah, I found some really nice blossom, and then these amazing, it actually kind of looks quite autumnal, which obviously it's not autumn at the moment, but I just love these colours together, and I just thought as a bit of a centrepiece, this is the table to kind of go for it, with a bit of like extravagant foraged blossom and branches. Quite often I'll have just more traditional flowers here, but I feel like this is like a nice focal point to have a bit of a statement going on as you come into the house. And again, just helps kind of bring everything all together. So originally when we moved in, the floor was very, very dark. It had a very dark kind of finished varnish on it. A couple of years ago, we actually got the floors sanded because we didn't like the darkness. We actually wanted to create more light in this space. So yes, we sanded the floors, and after he sanded it, he was like, "Oh, what varnish do you want, and what, you know, how dark do you want to go?" But actually, we just really loved the kind of finish as it was. So he just put quite a clear varnish on it to keep it quite light and just quite natural, really. But yeah, this is the original flooring, and it's quite drafty and quite cold in here, to be honest. But yeah, we love it, and you'll see in some of the other rooms we've kind of gone for it with rugs and things to add a bit of warmth and texture to the floor. But yeah, we love the floor. It's nice, yeah, original feature. So when we moved into the house, there were definitely lots of moments of what have we done. And that we'd maybe taken on a little bit too much. We knew it was going to be a big project, but yeah, definitely the first 6 months we lived here, I actually think I pretty much cried most days. We've completely just overwhelmed. Obviously I was here with young kids as well, so it was kind of about getting into the community as well and getting set up and established with meeting people as much, so being in a new village as much as kind of sorting the house out as well. So yeah, the first 6 months was definitely the most challenging. Yeah, it was quite scary at a few points as well. I actually think within the first couple of days we had moved in, I think I quickly said to my husband, like, I don't think I can stay here. I think I'm just gonna have to go and like be with my parents for a couple of nights, because it was just complete chaos really. We had like plumbers in, we had electricians in, there was just chaos everywhere trying to like piece together how the house works. So yeah, it's definitely been some serious lows, but then some serious highs as well. We're gonna head over into the living room now, so follow me. Okay, so here we are in the living room, and it's another big space that we had to tackle. Yeah, we painted it light blue in here, and actually one thing we did do is we painted the ceilings and the walls and the skirting and the radiators all the same colour, just to kind of really drench it and make it feel a little bit more modern actually. And again, we've got the original floorboards in here, and then some of the features which I love are some of the rugs, which I think just help to bring a bit of colour into the room. So we've got a couple of vintage rugs in here, and they also add a bit of warmth as well because it can get quite cold in here. We've got the log burner, which we installed. That is amazing in the winter time to make it really nice and cosy in here. You can actually, just shut the doors off and shut the doors off here and get it nice and cosy. But yeah, the L-shaped sofa, which we got from West Elm. Again, it took quite a long time to kind of find the right things, but we quite like the kind of slightly mid-century feel, but the fact that it was on quite a big scale worked really well in this space. And then the coffee table, that is also from the same guys actually where we got the chandelier from, called Pure White Lines. And it's got a slight kind of 70s feel to it, which is one of the areas kind of like style-wise I think is quite fun with interiors. So we kind of, with the coffee table, and that led to sort of getting this arced, slightly retro lamp in here, which is probably quite unusual for like a Georgian house. But again, I think it's just quite nice to have a bit of fun with interiors really. So yes, we've got the arc, and then we've kind of got some quite fun artwork. That is by David Shrigley, and it was a nice way to get some colour in here as well. So we went with quite a big round mirror above the fireplace. Again, I quite like the kind of way that reflects the hallway, the round table in there, the round mirror here. Pops of red, definitely. So the chair, which is a Soho Home chair, that kind of unexpected red theory, they say. I think, red works really, really well in this kind of space. And we've got pops of red coming through on some of the pillows and some of the artwork, some of the candles. But yeah, I love this room. It's one of my favourite rooms actually to hang out in. Yeah, we've obviously got our television here, and then we've got a mid-century sideboard. Took me ages to source a really long sideboard basically, which I think I found on Vinteria in the end. And then the wall lights, they tie in with the chandelier in the hallway. They are by Pure White Lines, and I quite like that pop of pink against the blue walls as well. The beam, that was already like that. I don't know what has happened along the way, whether it was a beam that was then covered up with the kind of cornicing detail. But it's a really nice feature to the room. We did actually have a few issues in here with a bit of a leak in the fireplace. Over there, we actually had mushrooms growing in this room at one point. But it's a lovely feature to the room, and definitely, makes it feel like a really special space to kind of hang out in. Yes, so the flowers, I've actually got a friend that lives in the village, and she is a flower farmer, which is quite handy. So I got these from her basically. She's called the Wild Society. I've put a lot of flowers throughout the house. I love having flowers in the house. I just think it makes the space really nice and complete and brings a bit more colour into the room. But these are some tulips that I got from her. I didn't find those myself, but I got them from my friend. So this mirror is a bit of a statement mirror. You'll probably see throughout the house that I have a little bit of an obsession with wavy lines and scalped edges. You can see they're kind of like subtly everywhere. I just saw this mirror, and it's from Anthropology. It's one of my favourite things. I shoot quite a lot of content in front of it, so it features quite heavily on my Instagram. But my lovely wooden wavy mirror. Come with me now, we're going to go and see the dining room on the other side. Okay, so we are in the dining room now, and again, amazing beams on the ceiling here. Such a beautiful original feature, this kind of the Georgian front to the house. And we've also got these original shutters which actually close. And we decided to go with some cafe curtains here because actually we are kind of on the street level, and people can peer in basically. So yeah, we've just got a bit of a cafe curtain vibe going on over there. We kind of went quite dark with the walls, and then this kind of bright yellow. It's actually called Sudbury yellow, which is a Farrow and Ball colour, and Sudbury is in Suffolk. It's kind of like a Suffolk yellow. So this is the only remaining yellow that's in the house, because originally the previous owners, the whole house was pretty much yellow. So we embraced it a little bit here. Basically, this is a room that we kind of have Christmas in, and so we have our Christmas dinner in here, and we do dinner parties, which is, yeah, a really fun space to have it in. This is actually was sold to me as a, which I didn't know, and then when I went to pay, the guy told me it was actually apparently a cocaine table. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but it spins around, and there's actually like a little mirror here, and you can put wine in the bottom. We obviously use it as a little kind of cocktail cabinet, which is why I bought it. And this is from the Boulin, which is one of the local kind of vintage brocante places, but it's just a really fun piece, and it's got like little slidey doors and up here. So yeah, we're really into kind of making cocktails. So yeah, this is like our little cocktail making station here. I just wanted some kind of like fun pieces really. Actually, I've had this for a long time. It's just from Oliver Bonus, which is just a UK high street store. It's like a little velvet, again, quite retro feel, which we love. And then yeah, we've just got some disco mirror balls down here, which quite often I use as props actually in some of my content, for, especially around kind of Christmas time. But yeah, just kind of add a little bit of fun to the room. We've got a wood burner in here, and again, this room can get quite cold, so it's lovely in the winter to have that going. And then this was a print we had in our old house. It's called Lamella, and yeah, we had it in our old house and just loved it. It's just a really nice, big, bright, fun pop of colour, basically. I think it's just nice to have another kind of bright colour in here. It works quite well with the dark walls. And we kind of, the lighting, we absolutely love the brand Soho Home. So we got these lights and actually the chandelier as well from them. And yeah, kind of again, that quite sort of fun, slightly 70s influence. The table is a vintage mid-century table. It extends, it's actually fully extended at the moment. It's from actually a local lady that sells vintage furniture called Modern Antiques. And then these chairs are actually just a copy of a very famous chair, and they're just bought from they're quite cheap from Dunelm, because we ran out of money. Couldn't afford the real deal, so these have been brilliant actually. Just I think they work quite well in the space. And then we just got some little cosy sheepskin pads to sit on for when it's a bit colder in here in the winter for Christmas and things like that. So when we have like dinner parties, I've had like last year I had a couple of girls' dinner parties in here, which were quite fun. And normally the table is like full on singing and dancing. Like I'm really into tablescapes, so there's normally a tablecloth, lots and lots of candles, lots of flowers, lots of like fancy glasses, and then yeah, kind of, I mean, to be honest with the food, I try and keep it really, really simple, just something that can be bought out and put on the side and people can just serve themselves. So yeah, it's normally all about like kind of going a bit extravagant really, and having lots of fun and having cocktails and champagne and yeah, having music on and having a bit of party in here really. But yeah, it's a really fun space to hang out in and yeah, have friends and stuff over. So in the past I have worked as a buyer. I was actually a fashion buyer at Bowden for over 10 years. I've always loved fashion and studied fashion marketing and communication at university. So yeah, I was a buyer for a big chunk of my career. And then when I had my son, I actually set up a blog that was kind of based around kids' clothing, kids' gifts, finding things that I just wanted to share with people. And it was kind of just a bit of a sideline really, that I thought maybe it was something I could build one day, and my husband was quite encouraging that maybe if we ever moved out of London, it'd be quite good to have something like a blog that you you know, you don't have to be commuting into London every day to do it. You can work from home and you can be a bit more flexible around the kids and family life. But yeah, it kind of went from there really. And then I started sharing outfits that I was wearing as a mum, and people were just really interested to see what I was wearing and finding out more about that. And then that's the way my blog and my Instagram kind of shifted to be a bit more about me. And outfits and styling and ideas on how to wear clothes and where to find good wardrobe staples. So yeah, that kind of shifted after buying. I went into that, and then after I had my daughter, decided not to go back to the buying role that I was doing, and try and focus full-time basically on my blog and my Instagram and becoming a content creator. So yeah, and I just really loved it. It worked really well around family life. I could be flexible, so you know, I could take time off in the holidays to be with my kids. And kind of over the years, probably when we renovated our house in London was when I realised I also was very keen on interiors. So yeah, I think when we renovated our home in London, which was another really big project, but on a much smaller scale compared to this. And we did the interiors there. Again, people were just, anything I was sharing about it on my blog and on my Instagram, people were really keen to see more. So yeah, it's not something I've studied really, the interior side of things, it's just something that I love. And then more recently, I've set up a home account for this house, which documented the renovation journey kind of that we went on. So yeah, so it's kind of evolved into a bit of fashion interiors, probably a bit more in the last few years. We're going to go check out the rest of the house now. Okay, so this is the mini hallway, and really wanted to kind of go for it in here because it was quite a small space compared to the bigger rooms. I just love pattern and I love wallpaper, and just totally fell for this Print Sisters archive paper, just kind of mixing kind of traditional print really with kind of a bit more modern colour. So yeah, we kind of went for it and mixed it with the dark green paint, and yeah, fun little wavy mirror on the wall, and it kind of then leads into our downstairs toilet. Again, just wanted to have a bit of fun with this downstairs loo, and we actually picked one of the colours kind of from the wallpaper to kind of like lead into here. And we have a bright orange bathroom basically. This is one area we've not really done anything, changed anything with the flooring. So we just painted over the tiles with tile paint, and this amazing sink, which was already here actually, with the little kind of shell detail on the side. So this is just a hand towel from Anthropology. I just like the colours. I think the colours work really well with the space. And then the mirror, that's also from Anthropology. Again, as you can see, another little wavy scalloped edge. And I like the kind of the blue contrasting with the bright orange. And then we kind of just went with dark skirting as well. And then a little bit of artwork on the walls as well. So we are in the kitchen now, and as you can see, it's very light and bright. This is the extension that we did a couple of years ago. And yeah, so this bit is all new, and the flooring is the oak parquet, which continues through from the snug room. And we had a kitchen designed and made for us. And as you can see, gone for green and pink is a little bit of a theme in here. The worktops are actually Carrara marble, which we sourced, which is the most beautiful worktop, but I must confess, it does stain and it does scratch, but we're kind of like learning to embrace those like imperfections that it brings. But yeah, the island is a really big island, and we've got our hob on the island here, and it's actually got an air vent built into it, so we didn't have to have an extractor fan above it, so it's almost like the extractor fan is in it and sucks everything down, which is a really nice feature. Yeah, we've got a little area here we can keep cookbooks and things. Yeah, we've got our fridge over here, big fridge freezer, And then, yeah, pantry cupboard in here. We decided not to have kind of cabinets above. I'll show you in a minute the pantry cupboards we had built. But yeah, we were really keen to have a little shelf built, which was actually an absolute pain to create, but they managed to do it in the end. Because we really like the idea of sort of using it as a bit of a display area for little bits of artwork and flowers, and then little bits from the pantry as well, which we brought through. So yeah, it's just quite a nice way, and actually quite often we move things around and it just makes it quite flexible to switch up artwork and colours and things like that. But it's a really, really great space to cook in. Me and my husband both love cooking. I tend to cook most during the week, and then my husband likes to cook quite a lot at the weekend, and we're trying to encourage the kids definitely to cook a bit more with us. So it's a well used and well loved kitchen. And I think that moving to this village as well, we don't have Deliveroo or anything like that on our doorstep, so we have to do a lot more cooking here. But we both love cooking, but we're just quite time poor. So when we do cook, it's just great to do it. But I'd say both of us probably cook similar amount. So one of the things I love washing up in this spot is there's a really amazing view out to the village square. It's actually like a little walled garden area, but you can see the clock tower in the village that goes off on the hour every hour. But yeah, it's a really nice view out basically when you're doing the washing up. Makes it a little bit more enjoyable. I would say the room that I'm most pleased with was probably the kitchen, because I think as a mum and as a family we spend so much time in there, and the kitchen previously was it was kind of in the middle of the house. It was quite small and quite dark, not really somewhere we wanted to spend lots of time, and one of the reasons we wanted to move out to the countryside was because we wanted to be like around all the greenery and see our garden. So for us it was a massive shift to move our kitchen and create an extension that connected the garden basically. So we spend so much time in our kitchen, and I would definitely say that naturally I love that kind of Scandinavian style, and I feel like in our kitchen that's definitely feels very me in there. And yeah, we love spending time in there. It's really nice and light and bright, and it's great, it's fun in there, and then it's nice to come into the more traditional part of the house as well, with the big rooms and the beams and everything as well. But yeah, probably the kitchen. So we worked with a local architect, and we were really keen to have a kind of big storage space. So he came up with this design, which is sort of built into the old part of the house. So yeah, we've got these nice big cupboards which kind of hide everything away, and they've just got this nice reeded glass, so you can kind of get a little peek in to see what's in there. And it's just got masses and masses of storage in there. We've got drawers in that one, cookbooks. They're a bit of a mess at the moment, but yeah, cookbooks, things for the dog, everything gets kind of hidden away. So those have been absolutely brilliant. And then over here we have got our dining table. Quite often I'll just chuck a tablecloth down, and yeah, it's just like that underneath. It's kind of like a bit of a mid-century feel to the table. And then these chairs here we splurged on and got the original Hans Wegner chairs, which we absolutely love. They're called the wishbone chairs. And then we just got these little padded seat cushions. This is from a local company called Farrow Home, which are really nice. And yeah, we've got a bench along that side, and chairs along this way, and this is where we have most of our meals basically. And it's got the most beautiful view out to the garden, which we've got in this big picture window we created, and it's just a really lovely space to sit and enjoy our meals and look out on the garden. Over here in this corner, this is a bit of like an ongoing project really. I'm still trying to find the right thing. I was quite keen to have like a little sofa, maybe like a vintage sofa or a couple of 2 chairs in here. So this was actually a hand-me-down chair from my sister, but actually it's been great. And again, it's another popular spot for my dog to sit. But yeah, this is just a really nice little kind of chill out area. So the kids often sit here, or sometimes I'll sit there if my husband's cooking and to read a magazine. And just actually quite often I will just sit there when I have to edit content on my phone, and it feels really nice to still kind of feel connected to the garden. And it's nice and light and bright. But yeah, it's a nice cozy corner in our kitchen. So with the decoration of the house, one of the first things we did actually was start decorating with paint, because obviously paint is a great way to instantly change your home and make it feel a bit more you. So we kind of worked from the top down, and obviously then we did some work towards the end of that, and then 2 Christmases ago I think we finished the downstairs and did the final decorating. So the house very much went from being yellow when we moved in to being lots of different colours. So we've used lots of blues, lots of greens, lots of pinks, and then some colour pops as well, just to make the house a bit more kind of our style, really. We really like colour, and the house definitely has moved away from being very traditional. Doesn't really have many antiques. I like to mix old and new in the house, but it definitely took quite a long time to find the right things to work in the spaces. So we went from a Victorian terrace house in London, and we had quite a lot of mid-century furniture, and a lot of that, when we put it in, was quite small, and the rooms just sort of swallowed it up, really. So it's taken a bit of time to find the right things, like finding a big sofa, and then sourcing things from vintage markets and brocants, as well as getting some more modern things for our kitchen, for example, as well, because there's definitely a mix of old and new in the house, which we absolutely love. We love all the character that the house naturally has. So yeah, it's definitely a much more colourful, fun family home now, I'd say. Okay, we're going to go out to the garden now. Okay, so this is the garden. We've got the lawn on this side, and then we've created like a huge patio space, because eating outside, sitting outside, being outside is really, really important to us. So we created this area so we could have a nice big dining table here. Our barbecue's over there as well. And then on this side over here, we have got our outdoor sofa. So yeah, we kind of love just hanging out here as much as we can in the spring and in the summer, having barbecues. We've had a couple of parties out here as well. But the slabs we put down are limestone pavers, and I really love the kind of just the colour of them, really. I think it just works really well in this space. We've planted up and landscaped quite a lot of the garden. Up at the top there is the barn. So the barn is actually where my husband works. We converted that as well. So it's got a music studio in it, and it's also got like a little living area and a kitchen. But yeah, we really love this space. We've got a fire pit there, sometimes we have going, and the dog obviously loves it out here, and the kids running around. We've got a big magnolia tree in the middle, and at the top of our garden we've got a pond actually as well. So yeah, it's just a really nice space that kind of just connects in with the newer part of the building, which has been clad in larch, silver larch, and yeah, kind of mixing old and new. If you look back on the house as well, you'll see the clock tower in the distance there as well. So with the planting, it's still quite early in the season still for quite a lot of things, but we've got hydrangeas. So we have a lovely big, I think they're called Annabelle hydrangea, which I think they'll be coming out in, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks' time, but they're lovely kind of little big pops of kind of creamy white that we've planted. And then we have a mixture of like kind of quite soft grasses, and then we kind of mix it back with some more formal kind of hedging just to give a bit of structure to the garden. And yeah, there's quite a few flowers to bring nice pops of colour. And at the top there, we've actually got some wisteria, which was here already actually, and that's actually flowering at the moment, which is really pretty. But yeah, it looks quite green at the moment, but eventually it will be a bit fuller and a bit more colourful with the flowers. I would say my favourite thing about this house would be Christmas. It's just, I think when we looked around it, we just knew that it was going to be a really great space to kind of get all our families together and spend Christmas together here. I think just the proportions of the room and the kind of the romance of Christmas, I really feel like this house, encapsulates that really well. So yeah, I think that's probably one of my favourite things is, I mean, there's lots of things, but yeah, probably having Christmas here has been amazing, and hosting that, as stressful as that can be. I think everybody that has come at Christmas the last few years has really appreciated the space and yeah, how beautiful a house can become just simply with a tree and some decorations on the mantles and things like that. So that's definitely given me a lot of joy. Okay, let's head back inside now. Okay, we're going to go upstairs now. I'm going to show you some of the bedrooms. Okay, so this is the master bedroom, and more beams, really high ceiling height in here. It's a bit of a wow kind of factor space. The room is huge, and again was quite overwhelming trying to work out what to do with the space. One of the things that kind of came to mind was that actually a four-poster bed would work really well in here. So we've got this four-poster super king-size bed, and it doesn't actually look that big in here because the room's so big. So it's a really great bed, and this is a quilt that my mum actually made for me. She's the most amazing quilter. So this is like, yeah, one of my favourite pieces ever that I will keep forever and hand down, a bit of a heirloom piece. And then the bedside tables, they are they're vintage rattan tables, which I sourced, and again I tried to pick something that was quite big for the space and had some storage in it. So yeah, really pleased with those. The lampshades are actually hand painted by a friend called Katie Bell. So we've got bedside lamps either side. There is a huge fireplace that we don't use, kind of takes up quite a lot of the room. And then, yeah, more recently over here we had this, actually the guys that made our kitchen, they made this sort of custom dresser table for us and some storage. So I kind of use this as a little dressing table. Stripes. I got these from Homeworthy, and they are like quite a heavy wool, so quite good for this room because it gets quite cold in here. It gets quite drafty. And then over this side, we had these wardrobes custom built. Again, these are the guys that made our kitchen, made these for us. For a long time in here, I just literally had rails for clothes. We didn't really know what we were going to do. And then we sort of came up with this, because this slightly dead space in the room would be perfect to build some storage in here. So yeah, these are great. And I don't know if you can see along the bottom how wonky the floors are basically in here. So underneath this carpet is the original flooring, and it was in a really bad state. And we just decided that it was going to just cost too much really to get it all fixed and sorted. So we've actually, we've boarded over it and put carpet down. So it is underneath there, maybe one day for somebody else to have the joy of dealing with, but it is very wonky in here. And there's lots of, yeah, kind of ups and downs and creaky floors underneath. But yeah, we're really pleased with the storage that we've got in here. Really nice to have proper grown-up wardrobes. I'm going to show you a couple of things in my wardrobe. I have to confess, I do have another area with more stuff, but this is kind of like my day-to-day stuff. I actually rent out quite a lot of my wardrobe, and I'm just going to show you, these are two things that have been really popular for people to rent. It's a Ganni dress and then a Cézanne little sequin dress. But yeah, I tend to keep my dresses in this side, and then I've got a little drawer down here for accessories. My husband does actually have a little bit of space down that end. And then in here I've got accessories, and then drawers with like knitwear and things in it. So lots of clothes. Because the ceilings were so high, we kind of felt like we wanted some kind of statement lighting, because it's, again, a big space that can cope with it. These are from Anthropology, and yeah, kind of quite fun, tassel-y lightings that we just thought, yeah, brought a bit of fun to the room, really. So yeah, we've got one there and one here, and then we've just got lamps elsewhere. So we decided to keep this space quite neutral because of the beams. There's quite a lot going on. It was already quite busy. So yeah, we just decided to actually keep it very calm and very neutral. I think I can't even remember what the colour is on the walls. It might just be a very, very pale kind of like grey, white. But yeah, it's just quite a nice calm space, really. And I think at one point we were talking about whitewashing the beams, but we decided not to, so it was too big a job. But yeah, I've decided not go too crazy of colour in here, and just have the colours from the quilt and the lamps and everything, and the rugs to, yeah, kind of give that colour pop to the room. Probably tips for finding your own sort of style or sense of style. I would definitely say think probably about your favourite outfit you wear, or maybe like an outfit that you wear that you've, I don't know, had compliments on, and think about what it is, the elements within that you like, whether it's the colour, or maybe it's a shape, or maybe it's dresses, and maybe think a bit more about what you can kind of get out of that. So yeah, I mean, for example, for me, probably in the last 5 years, I've just really discovered that dresses are just a really important part of my style. I think maybe becoming a mum, it was a very easy thing just to throw on and feel a bit more pulled together. And then colour as well, I think, is really important. I know people are can be quite scared of colour, but again, it's just finding the right colour that works for you. And yeah, just being brave and kind of going for it, really. But yeah, I'd probably say my main tip would just be, yeah, kind of think about what you've already got that you love, and you can always go on places like Pinterest, which I think is amazing for loads of ideas for outfits and style, and even create like a little like mood board of the things you love, and then keep that in mind, yeah, when you're going shopping, and yeah, start to develop your own style that way. So this is our guest bedroom, and we have gone with a kind of, I think it's French grey colour on the walls in here. So fairly neutral, and then we've got a pink stripe blind. These are Tory Murphy again, and the headboard, which I actually did myself recently, just to tie in the bigger stripe and the little stripe. Kind of went for it a little bit in here. The bedside tables are vintage ones that have been painted in yellow, and the lights they're like a Liberty print fabric. These are from Pookie, and these are vintage prints that used to be my granddad's. Kind of gone for it a bit in here with the kind of colours and textiles. This is an African print throw that used to be my mum's. Yeah, it's just a really fun space. Guests really love staying in here. We've gone with cafe curtains, linen cafe curtains on the windows for a bit of privacy. But there's, yeah, really nice light in here. And the ceilings are a bit lower in here as well, so it kind of has a slightly cosy element too. So this is the guest ensuite. It's a pretty big bathroom actually for a guest ensuite. But we went for it with the colour. This is pink. Faramball pink, and there's some more pink stripes. It has a roll top bath, and this was actually here already, But yeah, the roll top bath, which is a bit of an amazing statement piece, as well as the marble sink as well, which I absolutely love. I wish this was in our bathroom, but the guests get to enjoy this, and yeah, it's just a really, really fun bathroom. We put these wall lights in from original BTC, and then the toilet as well. That was already here, but a bit more of a traditional toilet, which is guests always find quite fun as well. And then there's a nice view out over the garden as well. So the word home means to me is probably family. So definitely a place where we can all feel comfortable and really happy and create memories, really. I want my kids just to grow up and have some amazing memories of this huge mad house that we ended up buying. So yeah, I think that's probably what home means to me.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.